the smell of burnt lentils, and the sound of a father's fading eyesight. These are the ingredients of smell of burnt lentils and the sound of a father's fading eyesight. These are the ingredients of a betrayal that split a nation before it was even born. Have you ever wondered if a single bowl of soup is worth your entire future? Do you know how a mother's love can become a sharp blade that cuts a family in two? Listen closely, my children. Sit by the fire of wisdom, for this is the story of the twins who wrestled in the womb and the trickery that changed the course of the stars. If these words touch your spirit, I invite you to like this video, leave a comment of peace, and subscribe to our circle so you never miss the ancient truths we uncover together. The sun in the land of Canaan did not just shine, it ruled. It beat down upon the tents of Isaac, the son of promise, a man whose hair was now the color of the white clouds, and whose eyes had grown as dim as a cave at midnight. Isaac sat at the entrance of his dwelling, his hands trembling slightly, feeling the warmth of the light he could no longer see. In his nostrils was the scent of the wild, the smell of the open field, of crushed grass, and the musky hide of the deer. This was the scent of his firstborn, Esau. But inside the womb, many years before, a war had already begun. Rebekah, their mother, had felt the two boys kicking like two bulls fighting for the shade of a single acacia tree. When they were born, Esau came out red and hairy, like a garment of wool. But close behind, gripping his brother's heel with a fist of iron, was Jacob. In our villages, we know that the firstborn is the pillar. He is the one who carries the father's staff. He is the one who receives the double portion of the inheritance. Esau was a man of the bush, a hunter whose heartbeat matched the rhythm of the galloping gazelle. He was loud, he was strong, and he lived only for the now. Jacob, however, was a man of the tents. He was quiet. He was deep. He was a man who looked at the horizon and calculated the distance. He did not hunt the deer. He waited for the world to come to him. One evening, the sun was sinking, painting the sky in bruises of purple and gold. Esau stumbled toward the camp. His bow felt like a lead weight. His stomach was a hollow drum, echoing with the pain of a failed hunt. He had chased the wind all day and caught nothing. The scent hit him before he saw the fire. It was the smell of red lentils, bubbling in a pot, seasoned with the herbs of the earth. Jacob was there, stirring the red stew, the steam rising like a prayer. "Give me some of that red pottage," Esau gasped, his voice cracked with exhaustion. "I am famished. I am dying of hunger." Jacob did not look up immediately. He stirred the pot slowly, the wooden spoon scraping the bottom. "Sell me your birthright," Jacob said. His voice was as cool as a deep well. "Sell it to me this day." Esau laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Look at me. I am about to die of hunger. What use is a birthright to a dead man?" Listen to the tragedy in those words. He traded the eternal for the temporary. He traded the throne of his ancestors for a belly full of beans. He swore the oath, gulped down the stew, and rose up to leave. The Bible says he despised his birthright. He threw away the gold of tomorrow for the copper of today. But the true storm was yet to gather. Years passed like dry seasons. Isaac was now old, his bones aching with the weight of his days. He called for Esau. "My son, my eyes are gone. I do not know the day of my death. Go out, hunt some wild game, and prepare me the savory meat that I love. Then I will give you my soul's blessing before I pass." Esau raced to the fields, his heart pounding with the hope of the blessing. But Rebekah, the mother who favored the quiet Jacob, had been listening behind the goat hair curtains of the tent. Her mind moved like a weaver's shuttle. She called Jacob. "Listen to me, my son. Do as I say, and the blessing of the firstborn will be yours." "But mother," Jacob whispered, his voice trembling, "Esau is a hairy man, and I am smooth-skinned. If my father touches me, he will know I am a deceiver. I will bring a curse upon myself, not a blessing." Rebekah's eyes were hard as flint. "Let the curse fall on me, my son. Only obey." Imagine the tension in that tent, the smell of the young goats being slaughtered, the heat of the fire as Rebekah cooked the meat to taste like wild venison. She took the best clothes of Esau, the ones that smelled of the forest and the earth, and put them on Jacob. And then she took the skins of the young goats and wrapped them around Jacob's smooth hands and the back of his neck. Jacob walked toward his father's darkness. Every step felt like a mile. The floor mats crunched under his feet. "My father," Jacob said. The old man turned his sightless face. "Who are you, my son?" Jacob's tongue felt thick. "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Sit up and eat so that you may bless me." Isaac frowned. The voice was the voice of the younger, but the timing was too fast. "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God brought it to me," Jacob lied. The lie hung in the air like smoke. "Come near," Isaac whispered. "Let me feel you." Jacob stepped into the shadow of his father. The old calloused hands of Isaac reached out. He felt the goat skins on Jacob's wrists. He felt the rough hair on the neck. Isaac shook his head in confusion. "The voice is Jacob's voice," the old man murmured, "but the hands are the hands of Esau." He ate the meat, he drank the wine, and then he called his son close to kiss him. As Jacob leaned in, the smell of the fields trapped in the clothes filled Isaac's nostrils. It was the smell of the rain on the soil. It was the smell of the blessing. Isaac spoke, and his words were like thunder over the mountains. "May God give you of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers." The words were spoken. They could not be taken back. They were carved into the spirit realm. Jacob left the tent, his heart racing, the stolen prize in his hand. But wait, barely had the dust settled when the real Esau returned. He came in shouting, his face flushed with the joy of the hunt. He prepared the meat and brought it to his father. "Sit up, my father, and eat of your son's game." A cold shiver ran down Isaac's spine. He began to tremble violently. Who was it then who was just here? "I have eaten and I have blessed him, and indeed he shall be blessed." A cry tore out of Esau's throat, a great and exceeding bitter cry that would echo through history. It was the sound of a man who realized he had lost the thing he never knew he valued. "Bless me also, O my father," Esau wailed, falling at the old man's feet. But the jar was broken. The oil was spilled. Isaac could only give him the leftovers of a broken destiny. Esau's heart turned to stone. In the shadows of his mind, he whispered a dark vow. "The days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Jacob had the blessing, yes, but now he had to run. He had to leave his mother's face, his father's house, and the land of his birth. He walked into the wilderness with nothing but a staff and a heavy conscience, a fugitive because of his own cleverness. Family, we must understand. The soup of the moment is never worth the inheritance of a lifetime. 5 deep life lessons and morals. The danger of the instant. Esau sacrificed his future for a single bowl of soup because he was ruled by his physical hunger. We must learn to discipline our now for the sake of our forever. Do not trade your integrity for a temporary relief. The weight of our words. Isaac's blessing could not be retracted once spoken. In our African tradition, we know the tongue carries the power of life and death. Be careful what you speak over your children and your future, for words are seeds that must grow. The cost of deception. Jacob gained the blessing, but he lost his home. He spent 20 years in exile, being tricked by his uncle Laban just as he had tricked his father. Life is a mirror. What you give out in shadows will eventually meet you in the light. A mother's influence, Rebecca's plan, succeeded, but she never saw her favorite son again before she died. We must lead our families with transparency, not manipulation. Favoritism is a fire that consumes the house it is meant to warm. God's sovereignty versus human flaw. Despite the lying, the greed, and the favoritism, God's plan moved forward. This doesn't excuse the sin, but it gives us hope that God can use even our messy family dynamics to